Welcome to another video. Today we are going to look at how to automatically visualize your Nmap scan results, and we'll be transforming Nmap data into stunning visuals and comprehensive reports such as the one you can see on the screen. The tool we are going to explore today, or the tool that we are going to look at today, is the WebMap. So WebMap, it's a web application tool that runs on Docker that you can use to generate stunning visuals and comprehensive results of your Nmap scan. So if you are a penetration tester or you are someone who likes to have those visual representation of your data, you can use WebMap for this particular case. WebMap has some amazing features. You can see them down there, and these features are very useful when it comes to writing penetration testing reports, because you can have features such as it generating for you a PDF report of your Nmap results that you scanned. So let's jump to the installation process. So in order to install the WebMap, first you're going to need Docker installed on your Kali Linux machine or any other operating system. So make sure that you have Docker. So it's cross-platform because Docker supports a lot of operating system that people use on a day-to-day basis. So you just need Docker, then you can go and download that particular WebMap image. So it works on both Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, as long as you have Docker installed. For me, I'm on Kali Linux, and Kali Linux website offers a nice documentation on how to install Docker on your Kali Linux. So for me, I don't have Docker installed on my Linux, so I'm going to use this documentation to be able to run Docker on our machine. So first of all, I'm going to need to update my system. You can see here we have sudo apt update. Then we are going to install Docker, and then we are going to enable the Docker service, and then you can confirm if Docker is running using this command. And then another important thing that you must do, especially if you are on a Linux environment or you are using Kali, you will find that you can't be able to run or to execute Docker commands or services without using the sudo command. So if you want to avoid that using the sudo command all the time, you can run this command, and it's going to enable you to run Docker without using the sudo command. The first thing you're going to do is to update our system. So after the update, the next step is to install Docker. To install Docker, you say sudo So we'll let it run, and then we'll come back when it's done. Our Docker installation is now done. So the next step is to enable the Docker services. So we are going to say sudo systemctl. Then you're going to say Docker enable Docker. Then --- now. So with that command, you will have enabled Docker, and let's confirm if it's running. So sudo systemctl status Docker, and you can see our Docker is up and running. So to quit this, you just press Q, and it's going to quit that page. So you can see we have Docker, it's active and running. I'm also going to run that command that will enable us to use Docker without using sudo. Okay, then we can check if our Docker is installed. So I'm going to type Docker, and you can see we have the help menu for the Docker program. So the WebMap tool has a GitHub repository whereby you can find instructions on how to use that particular tool. I will link it in the description. I will have the link to this GitHub repository on the description. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down. You can see the screenshots of how the particular application will look like after we have installed. And I'm going to come down here where we have usage. There are some commands here that we are going to need to run so that we can be able to use the WebMap program or the WebMap web application. And one of them is the installation of the WebMap image on Docker. The next step is to basically now display our scan results on the web application. And in order to be able to do that, we are going to need to create a folder on our TMP directory that is going to contain the scans that you are going to conduct. So every Nmap scan that you are going to conduct, you are going to save it in that folder, and then the results are going to be displayed on the WebMap web application. So I'm going to create that folder. So I'm going to say sudo mkdir, then -p, then /tmp/webmap. So there is where we want to save our results. Then we're also going to modify the permissions of that particular folder so that we make sure the Docker image or the WebMap program will be able to access that directory. So we are going to say sudo chmod, then 777, then /tmp/webmap. So with that command, you'll have given your WebMap program permission to write into that particular folder. Then I'll paste that command. Okay, so I need to use sudo, and you can see it's downloading the WebMap Docker image. So we'll give it time to run, and then I'll come back when it's done. So I'm going to run this command. Then I'll provide the command in the description. So this command is going to start our WebMap program, meaning that your Docker web application is running. So we'll go back to our browser, and on our browser, I'm going to open a new tab, and then I'm going to say localhost, and we have configured it to run on port 8000. As you can see in our command, it's going to run on port 8000. So in our web browser, I'm going to say port 8000, then enter, and you can see we have our web map. So we need to generate an authentication token so that we can log into the WebMap application. So I'm going to copy this code. It's going to generate that token for us. So I'll jump back to my terminal, and I'm going to paste that code, and we'll get a token here. We are going to get a token here. So that token, we are going to go back to our browser and paste that token there. Then click login. And you can see we have our WebMap program here. It has a nice UI. So the next step is to conduct an Nmap scan so that we can be able to see the results here. You can see we don't have any XML files. And after doing the Nmap scan, we should have an XML file here. So I have Metasploitable 2 running in the background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the IP address of that Metasploitable 2, and I'm going to do an Nmap scan. Then we'll save the results of that scan to our folder, the one that we created on the TMP directory. Then the results will be displayed in our WebMap application. So I'm going to say ifconfig. I'll also provide the link to download the Metasploitable 2 box if you want to play around with it. And then I'll obtain the IP address. I'm going to obtain the IP address. Then I'm going to say nmap, then -a. I'm going to do an aggressive scan. So if you want to learn more about the Nmap tool, I have a video that I talk about different Nmap scans and explaining what each type of scan does. So you can find the link in the description. You can click up here and you'll be able to be taken to that video. So this is the command that I want to run. I'm going to use an aggressive scan. This is the IP address of my Metasploitable 2 box, and make sure that your results or your scans are saved in the XML output. I've explained that in the Nmap video, how you can save your results in different types or different formats. Then this is where we are going to save our results. You can see we have Metasploitable 2 scan.xml. You can add the .xml at the end. Then I'm going to say enter. Then our Nmap scan it's going to perform an Nmap scan, and we are going to see the results on our browser. And our scan is done. So what you're going to do, we are going to jump back to our browser so that we can see if it added that particular XML file. So on our WebMap application, you can see we already have the file metasploitable2 underscore scan.xml. We have our report here. So you can see we have one XML file, 22 ports were open on that particular scan, then closed 0, then filtered 0. So I'm going to click here, metasploitable2, and then we'll be presented by this nice visual representation. You can see here, then you can see the services that were detected and the operating system that is running on that machine. Okay, so basically you can see we have that, and then you can see here we can generate a PDF report, we can check for CVEs, and also we have the network view. Okay, we'll start with the network view, then we can go to the others. So I'm going to click the network view, and then you can see we have this representation whereby we have our machine and the XML file. Then to check for the CVE and exploits, it's going to check for known vulnerabilities and also if we have exploits available for those vulnerabilities. So it's a very useful tool, especially for penetration testing. We can also generate a PDF report. So if I click here, it's going to generate a PDF report for our scan. So we'll wait for it to generate the PDF report, and you can see it's going to open the PDF report. And it's a very nice report. It has a cover page, all the ports and the services that we are running on that particular port. Then it's going to tell us the scripts that we are used to scan for different services and different vulnerabilities. So I used the aggressive scan so that it can use the default Nmap script. That's why we're able to get these results. Okay, so basically you can see we have a very nice PDF. So I'm going to go back. And then another feature, you can also do a new Nmap scan, and you can also view details. Okay, so details is the one that we have seen here. So another amazing feature about this particular program is that you can do a new scan, and then you're going to specify the file name, the target host, and then we can have some Nmap parameters or options, and then you can schedule that particular scan. So you can set it to hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly. So it's going to automatically conduct the Nmap scan, and then it's going to save the results on this particular folder that we created. And when you come back here, you'll be able to see those scans. So it's also a nice program for automation. So that's it for today's video. We were supposed to look at the WebMap, so I've shown you how to install it and how to do the Nmap scan, and you can see we have a very nice visual representation. Hope you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching. I hope these tools becomes very useful to you when you are conducting your penetration testing or whether you are writing penetration testing results. See you in the next video.